Hi everyone and welcome back to Guardia Kitty. I'm here at LaGuardia Airport because I want to test out montagdude's New York scenery, which also includes Philadelphia and a little bit of New Jersey. This scenery is well known to be quite heavy, especially if you have OSM2 city buildings on, which is what I will have on. So I'm interested in pushing my computers a little bit and seeing how far it can go. So let's get started. This scenery pack, by the way, is part of the reason why I've always said that you should always read the installation instructions before attempting to install a scenery pack or a custom aircraft. Not only will you have to assemble the scenery directory together from all these zip files, as each part is split into its own file so you can skip the parts you don't need, you also need to use the data in this file to patch your FlightGear installation yourself. As a reward though, you'll get a custom texture made specifically for this area. So that's the perk of using a custom scenery pack. As of the filming of this video, you should also create a new file called airport grass Haugen, the PNG, and also airport grass overlay.png, as these two files are referenced in the material definitions but are missing in the FlightGear installation. Taking off at 13 frames per second already, I hope that's a good sign for things to come. Rolling down runway, here our trusty C172P again, and the reason why I picked this plane and not one with a glass cockpit is probably obvious to you already. Plane with a glass cockpit will probably just melt right here, my computer. In any case, if you have a newer computer that's built in like the last 2 years or so, and you do not have an internal integrated graphics card, you are most likely going to be CPU limited rather than GPU limited. Especially because FlightGear only uses a single core, and the last time I went to a computer store, there's a trend towards computers with more cores and weaker individual cores, so which is pretty bad for FlightGear. Luckily, there aren't any flocks of Canadian geese out for us today. There are a lot of buildings out here. Our frame rate's holding at a steady 12, 13. Alright, let's turn all the way down Manhattan. That's Central Park right there, I think. I'm not familiar with this area. It's nice to have a place that's recognizable, even if it's only because there are no buildings there in an area otherwise saturated with buildings. I'm not going to do the SFRA. I don't have the documentation for that. The benefit of doing a sim, I might actually turn around and fly into a canyon. The bad part about doing this in a sim is that I am currently now at 5 frames per second. I'm lucky this is even flyable. Oh my goodness. We're flying right over Manhattan. We're officially at 5 frames a second. Definitely don't try to do anything drastic over here. By the way, this is at medium settings. I cannot get the LOD settings any lower without stopping buildings from spawning. This is about as much frames as we're going to get out of this, guys. This scenery absolutely defeated my computer, oh my goodness. Not that it takes much, the A320 is now to also bring it down to unacceptable levels, but this is another story entirely, oh my goodness. Is that the Empire State Building? Let's give it a little waggle. Let's give it a fly around. And we're going to do the... There we go. Oh god, low frame rates. And I just cut the throttle out a lot because we will need to keep our speedball in a steep descent while passing through the Empire State Building here. Oh, at least I hope this is the Empire State Building. Foxtrot Golf Sierra circling Empire State Building clockwise. buildings despawned and frame rate instantly went back to 17. Let's see how long that lasts. Are you doing something weird? Yeah, we are. We're dangerously slow, that's why. Buildings are back, and so is the horrid frame rates. Alright, let's climb out above Central Park and dip down below. We're going to try to fly between the trenches. Facing LaGuardia. Let's not descend as much now. And now we're seeing the Manhattan grid again, so let's dip down a little bit, and we will, before we stall, try to fly into one of the numerous concrete canyons that exist around here. See if I can navigate into one. Nope. The frame rate's too low. It's next to impossible to do anything. So yeah, I think this city got spared today. I can't do too much when the frame rate's this low. You win, Manhattan. You win. Let's see if we can get like 4 times the charm. Bro, let's go around that one. Or the one after. Oh, the frame rate's not cooperating. I will make it the best I can. Let's touch down on this avenue. Street, rather, I think. Slow down a bit. We're going way too fast to this. Looking good. I think there's a bit of crosswind actually. That's nice. 5 frames per second land. We're gaining the vertical speed a little bit. Let's hope we don't hit the buildings. Uh-oh. I think I'm going to hit that one. There we go, and I think that's enough for me. Not doing that again. You know, I wanted to cherish the simulatedness of the situation here by flying something that no real person would ever do in real life. Turns out, there's a good reason that they don't do this in real life. In any case, let's go back to LaGuardia for today. We had lots of fun already. Sort of like that. Where's the runway exactly? On the left-hand side, alright. We are high. Really high. We're above the white arc with no flaps. In an area where I should be at flaps 3. So let's hyper decelerate first of all, and then we can throw in loads of flaps and set us down. Just like that. We're a little high, but we look a bit low. Always better high on energy than low. Hello ground. Coming in just above the dots there. It's probably the smoothest landing I've ever conducted lately. And off you go, bleeding these things off. We're a little bit fast, so we have a lot of velocity to bleed off here. There we go. And we're back on the ground. Still at the absolute lower limit of frame rates where I would fly. But at least we were safe. Let's get off the runway area first before we call it off for today. I really hope no one confuses this for para runway. I mean, there is a red and white barrier which should prevent any Harrison Ford incidents. But Jesus Christ, I'm a little bit concerned. And here we are, safe and back on the ground. Thanks for watching, Lord Kitty. I'm sorry for being away for quite a long time these days. I'm still managing my schedule and trying to get things back on track, and hopefully I should be producing new videos on the regular schedule pretty soon. So thanks for watching throughout all this turmoil, and safe flights.